All right, so I'm gonna talk about something that's a little more my era. I started playing basketball probably 95, 96. Got serious about it around 97, 98. Went on to play varsity high school. Had a shot to go to college. Had some life issues, didn't work out. But around that time, some really amazing basketball was taking place. That's the Jordan era, right? So Jordan was I'd say he was in his prime from the time I was, from around 93 to 97 before he retired the first time and then came back and then for a couple years and retired the second time. That's when Jordan was in his prime, which changed the world, right? Changed basketball, changed the world, changed culture. The greatest to ever do it, hands down. Jordan was absolutely dominant, okay? So that's the Jordan era. Then we got 96 rolls around, and you get Allen Iverson, you get Kobe Bryant, you get Steve Nash, right? You get a whole bunch of, you get a whole bunch of other players like Tracy McGrady, and of course Shaq was around, drafted I think in 93 or whatever. Maybe 92, I forget. But then, of course, 97, 98, 99, Jason Williams, the greatest passer and NBA showman ever, in my opinion, although he wasn't consistent, which was his downfall. But he eventually got a ring in 2006 with the Heat, which is something to note, that a lot of great ones never got rings. And J. Will maybe not have been an all-time great, but he's probably one of the most recognizable players of all time because of his amazing highlights that have gone viral, things like that. And I was watching this as a junior and senior in high school, so watching Jason Williams come down the court with his floppy hair, kind of goofy looking white boy, white as white can be, doing all these amazing tricks, just making people look silly, right? So this was a great era. And then we got Allen Iverson, drafted in, I believe 1996, right? Yeah, 1996. First round, first pick, didn't know that. Point guard, shooting guard, coming out of Virginia, Georgetown. He's listed here, of course I'm just looking at his Wikipedia, but he's listed here as 6 foot 165. That's amazing. I was 6'1" and a half, about 170 in high school, playing for my basketball team, and I wasn't that great. I wasn't that good at all. And that's on a level where I'm one of the tallest guys out there, being 6'1", and of course there's always going to be taller guys, but usually in high school it's only like 6'3". You'll get a guy who's 6'3", you'll get a guy who's 6'4", sometimes 6'5". That's about it. This guy's 6 foot, 165. If you look at him, he's skinny as hell, right? Quick as a cat, huge hands, long arms. Okay. Plays for the Philadelphia 76ers from 1996 to 2006. Plays for the Denver Nuggets, 2006-2008. Plays for the Detroit Pistons, 2008-2009. Plays for the Grizzlies, 2009. Back to the Sixers, and he's done in 2010. Not the greatest career as far as teams play for. A lot of times you like to see a player who's that good stick with one team, but Shaq bounced around. Jordan ended up retiring with the Wizards, right? So let's look at his career highlights. NBA Most Valuable Player 2001, when they went to the finals and lost, but gave the Lakers a run for their money. When I remember watching that, thinking like, this guy is leading a team that really is about as skilled as some players at a local YMCA. I mean, Theo Ratliff. Who did they have? They had nobody. Eric Snow. They just had, it was a nothing team that he single-handedly, a 6 foot nothing, 165, soaking wet guy led to an NBA Finals and almost beats the Lakers, one of the greatest dynasties of all time, with Shaq and Kobe. Just amazing. 11-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Star MVP, 3-time All-NBA First Team, 3-time All-NBA Second Team, All-NBA Third Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA All-Rookie First Team, 4-time NBA Scoring Champion. This guy averaged like 33 points, 34 points for 4 seasons. 3-time NBA Steals Leader. They retired his number at the 76ers. Consensus First Team All-American, 1996. First Team All-Big East, 1996. So his career statistics are 20. He averaged 26 points a game. But like I said, there was 4 seasons where he averaged like 34, 33 points a game. There was a couple seasons where he averaged like 29, 30 points a game. 6.2 assists per game, not bad. So he did pass, for people who think he's just a chucker. He did pass the ball a lot. So that's just his statistics. But this guy came from Newport News, West Virginia. You know, just a pretty bad area, right? So, coming from nowhere, nothing, being poor, just being a standout athlete, and he had some controversy where he almost went to jail his senior year. Pretty messed. Actually, it doesn't say he averaged 34 points a game. It says he averaged 31, but I think that, oh, well, there's one season where he averaged 33. Okay, so I was wrong. So 33 points per game, one season, 31 points per game another season, 31 points per game another season, 31, 30... 26, 27, 28. Okay, so he's just killing it. I mean, he's killing it, right? This guy, again, is 6'0", coming into a league where it's, you know, the league is transitioning from being rough and tough, bang 'em up 1990s to the 2000s, where they changed some rules around about defense and things like that to, you know, save the players. He took a lot of hits. He was injured, played injured, was hurt all the time because he was fearless. He would drive into the lane and just bang with the big boys. We're talking the big boys, right? And he would kill. He would still almost always score. He just was quick as a cat. He just had an amazing first step, amazing crossover. He pretty much reinvented the crossover, made it his own. You know, he made his own culture. You know, he kind of popularized the hip hop culture when the whole league was like, stop, we don't want you to, you know, do this. He was embraced in Philadelphia by that I think Steve Crochet, I think is his name. I don't know that guy's name, but there's a guy, you know, white guy from Philadelphia who embraced him, and probably because he saw the marketing value, but, you know, he embraced the hip hop thing, and because he was so good to back it up, the league had to just look the other way when, you know, people like Michael Jordan, even though Michael Jordan wore, you know, Jordans or whatever, which was marketed to, you know, to black people, and also, you know, have these long socks, or not long socks, but long, you know, the long shorts. You know, Jordan popularized that, although some people say that the Fab Five popularized that, maybe, but Jordan took it to you know, to the next level when Jordan started wearing long shorts. So, you know, this is Allen Iverson. This is the impact of Allen Iverson, and this is why I put him top 5 of all time. Not based on, you know, and people were gonna argue with that. People were gonna be like, "You're crazy," but because of his scoring, because of the impact that he had on the game, and because of his size, because no one else has done what he's done in the way that he did it, right? Being 6 foot, 165, coming into the lane, killer jump shot, killer crossover, would dunk on people, believe it or not. Okay. And just overall being fearless and killing people. He would kill teams. Just kill teams. Right? Scoring. And it's like, maybe he didn't win as much, but he led a crappy team to the finals. Maybe he didn't, win a lot of rings. Neither did Barkley. Okay? Neither did a lot of greats. Chris Webber never got a ring, John Stockton never got a ring. Okay? Lots and lots of great players never got rings. Does that mean they're any less great? Right? So this is why I got him in my top 5 of all time, because of his impact, because of his height. If he was 6'5", whatever, I would be like, okay, whatever, yeah. But he was playing like a guy who was 6'5". He was playing like a Tracy McGrady. He was playing like a Grant Hill. He was playing like a guy who was 5 inches taller than he was. And he was killing people. Didn't matter who defended him. He would go into the lane. Didn't matter. He would go against bigs. He was killing. So it's arguable if he would have had more support. Maybe he would have had a better team. Kobe did it without much support. Kobe put the Lakers on his shoulders 3 different times without Shaq and won rings. But it's arguable that he had a better supporting cast. It's arguable that he had better coaching. Iverson had P.J. Brown, who was a good coach, but he wasn't no Phil Jackson, right? They struggled. And essentially Iverson was just coming down, creating his own game. If they had a better offense, it's possible he would have got better shots. Possible he would have got better setups. But he ran around like crazy and worked for it. The guy had endless energy. He had endless athletic ability. He was fast as hell. He would run the whole game. He would play the whole game, and he would get beat up. And he had to create everything. He created everything. This is why he's so amazing. Other teams will run an offense and get their players really nice looks and set their star players up for really nice looks. I don't remember that in P.J. Brown's offense. All I remember was Iverson coming down and just creating, and running so much and getting open because he was running so much. That's impressive. And to do that day in and day out and average 33 a game, 30, 31, 31, 26, 26, 26, 24, 27, 28. I mean, come on. These are all years that he averaged. With subpar offense and a poor supporting cast. That's amazing. I mean, come on. I mean, okay. There is something to be said for winning championships. But the numbers don't lie. These 30-plus seasons don't lie. 5 seasons where he scored over 30 points a game. Ten seasons where he scored over 25 points a game. This is average, man. This guy was killing people. At 6 foot nothing, 170, soaking wet, bombing on fools. Back when defense was tough, not like today's defense, he could have averaged 40 in today's defense. So lackadaisical and non-existent. All the game is about today's offense. He would have averaged 40 a game, maybe 44. Imagine what Jordan would have done, but I mean, come on. People say Kobe's the closest thing to Jordan, but Iverson had killer jump shot, just like Jordan. So did Kobe. But I can't think of anyone else besides Iverson, Kobe, and Jordan who was killing it from the outside and the inside game at a shooting guard position. And he was a facilitator, and they ran the ball through him. That's why I got Iverson at top 5. Doing what he did when defense had evolved past the 60s and the 70s, when, you know, Oscar Robinson and these other guys were killing it when defense sucked. In the 80s, right, when defense was crazy, you got Bird, who's legendary, who's got to be in your top 5. If he's not, you're crazy. Right? Legendary Bird, who was killing in the toughest era. Jordan wasn't even killing then. Of course, he was young. And he went through it. You know, Jordan gets props for going through it with Detroit and getting hit and all this, and this tough, you know, the Hawks and all these teams that beat him up, the Cavs, right? He went through it. But the 90s was arguably tough as well, because even though it wasn't as physical, these guys were athletes. The rise of the athletes came in. These guys were, they'll throw your shot out of, they'll throw your shot into the 5th row. They don't need to hit you. They're so good, they'll just throw your shot out. So, and Iverson's coming in at 6 foot, looking like the smallest guy on the court, 165, not buff like Derek Fisher or some of these other point guards who had to make up for their lack of height with muscle. Coming in, dominating games with his quickness, dominating games with his crossover and his skill, making people look silly. Maybe not as playgroundish as Steve Francis, okay? Maybe not as and one mixtape as Jay Will, but he's still making people look silly, right? Quick as a cat and serious. He was serious. He had that killer instinct. He had Jordan and Kobe's killer instinct. He was going to score on you. There's nothing you could do. You can't stop him. They had no answer for the answer. He was 6 foot. No answer for the answer. That's why he's in my top 5.